If we make it to 100 episodes, yes, we can play Edward 40 Hands until we finish drinking and record a live stream. That's fine. I'm okay with that idea. Welcome back to episode. Well, I guess not welcome back to. Guys, it's episode 13 of the Packy Run. Jesus.
Unlucky number, I guess. Or lucky.
I just fucked up the intro, so I guess.
So I guess this.
It's already unlucky. We're screwed.
Yeah, this episode's going to be bad. So thanks for listening, guys. Really appreciate you. Check us out on our social media. We'll see you later.
Yep, we're done. We're good.
All right, just kidding about that. I'm your host, Dan Mayotte.
And I am Aj Lagambina. AJ Lagambina.
Lagambina.
The king of calling myself a Sicilian. That's all that I'm the king of.
You're one of those people that... Are you one of those people that's like, well, I'm like 60% Sicilian and like 20% like Irish and then like this percent like Norwegian and like
I have no idea like what the percentages are. I'm 99% sure that I am like fully 50% Italian. I'm pretty sure. I know that my grandfather on my dad's side was a literal Sicilian immigrant, and my grandmother's side of the family was some sort of Italian. I think my great-grandmother was an immigrant.
Was he in the mob?
He was not. He was in the Air Force.
He should.
I don't know about his brothers, though.
I mean, the mob would have been cooler than the Air Force. So what are you drinking tonight?
Well, tonight I'm finally finishing that 6-pack of 1985 IPAs that I've been talking about for, this is now the third week, so that's not very interesting. What is interesting...
Wait, have you had the same pack of beer in the fridge for the past, 3 weeks?
Only for the past week. I think it's only the same pack. It's the same pack as last episode for sure. But yeah, I've been drinking it for 3 weeks on the podcast. So I guess that's my glowing review. What makes it interesting though is that I spent some of my Amazon gift card money that I had lying around on the Sam Adams Perfect Pint glasses, which for those who have not been to the brewery or have never seen them before, they're like a normal pint glass. It's got the curvy kind of figure and everything. But they are specifically designed to retain carbonation and disperse heat, and they look really cool. So I got a pack of 2 for $20 on Amazon.
That's
and
sick.
I'm making the pour now.
Well, just to go off of that, if you are looking for a good free thing to do in Boston, which, by the way, there are a ton of good free things in Boston, and I'm sure most of the people listening to this podcast are from the Massachusetts area, but if you've never
41%.
But if you are looking for something fun to do when COVID is eventually over with, I don't think they're doing it anytime soon, but go visit the Sam Adams Brewery. It is free to go to, and they give you tons of samples.
And they tell you where you can get one of these pint glasses for free at a bar. Somewhere downtown, I believe.
I think so. And they give you a free glass.
Yeah, you get a little sample size glass for the samples. It's not like a shot glass. It's a kind of significant glass.
Yeah, it's a decent size one. It's I'd say it's a 12-ounce glass, not quite it's not a pint glass, but
it's probably a little bit smaller.
Maybe 8.
But it's nice to give yourself a little something for, pour some juice in it or something.
Yeah, it's a good keepsake, for sure.
Or vodka if you're that kind of guy.
I mean, we know somebody like that.
Looking at you, Josh Lutz.
We're looking right at you. I'm drinking... This is just what's in the fridge and left over from 4th of July because, tons of people over the house and... tons of leftover beer and other kind of crap. So this is a Grimm. It's a Passion Dome. Dry.
Is it
What?
Is it passion fruit?
It's dry hopped sour ale brewed with passion fruit. It's pretty good.
I'm down with anything that has passion fruit in it.
It's pretty big bottle. So
Tight.
it's good. I'm not much of a sour person.
Neither am I. Most of the sours are like, well, they're too sour. But the pretty much every passion fruit sour that I've ever had, I've really enjoyed.
So you probably like this then.
True.
Probably a recommend. I don't know who got it, how it got here. I think Grimm is a Brooklyn brewery in New York. So that's kind of cool.
Tight.
So definitely check it out. Have a look, see. I like how it gives you instructions on best served. So it's like 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit in a tulip or wine glass. Obviously, I am not drinking it. Well, you can't
Straight
see.
out the bottle, bro.
I'm just drinking it straight out of the bottle because I don't care that much. I'm a rebel. Sue me.
Fight him on Twitter.
Fight me on Twitter. It's at Dan Mayer.
Beerheads. Fight Dan on Twitter.
Yeah. So last week we covered Cam Newton signing with the Patriots. We talked about the Patriots fine.
Spygate 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, Spygate 2, Electric Boogaloo. And I went on a stupid rant about Fiona Apple's bad album that came out this year. Well, not bad album, but actually, I do have a hot take because I was talking to my girlfriend about it this afternoon. Do you want to hear it?
I really do.
Taking Back Sunday only has 2 good songs.
That is an extremely hot take. That might be the hottest take that you've ever had on this podcast.
I was like thinking about that today. I was like, they only have 2 good songs, and then Justine was like, "That's a hot take."
I would argue it's a wrong take. But
it's we're only here for the hot takes.
Up here in the hot take chamber on the Packy Run podcast.
Yeah. You're welcome to disagree with me, and you're welcome to guess what are the 2 good Taking Back Sunday songs on our social media. And you can tell me the errors of my ways.
I'm going to be tweeting about it as we record this podcast.
But anyways, there's some more about the Cam Newton topic. Patrick Mahomes just signed a enormous contract for an exorbitant amount of money. What is it? 10 years for up to $503 million.
How do you feel about this?
He is if anyone is going to give a 10-year contract to somebody, if I was a team and I had to give a 10-year contract to somebody, I'd give it to Patrick Mahomes. He's definitely worth it. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won an MVP. I just think 10 years that's quite a long time. Like, just have to be very sure about it.
So that's kind of my thing. If you think about if you take the NFL as a whole, right? You can't pay your star quarterback enough. And we're talking about multi-million-dollar industries. Like,
right.
I forget who I was watching this week. I think it was Colin Cowherd was talking about like the Dallas Cowboys during a home game. If they've got a home game against like an top tier team, they can clear $500 million in a day, in a few hours.
Oh yeah.
These are like, forget salary caps and everything else. Like this is a lot of money that these organizations are making. And it all hinges on your team being good. And arguably the most important position on the whole team is a quarterback. So if you have an absolute star, like keep getting them checks, dude. Like if the company you work for is willing to pay you that much, take the money and run. Whether or not you're actually going to get 10 years out of a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, who is by definition, because he's so mobile, because he's so active and aggressive and is constantly moving, like his body isn't going to hold up as well as somebody like, say, Tom Brady, who is just sitting there in the pocket.
He can adapt, though.
He can adapt.
My thing is, there has been he's not the first person to get a 10-year contract in the NFL. He probably won't be the last, but I think this hasn't happened in a while. I think the last one was Donovan McNabb. Drew Bledsoe got a 10-year contract. You want to guess what year that was?
97.
No. It was in 2001, before the season started.
Poor bastard.
But Brett Favre also got a 10-year contract. I think that was 2000 or something like that. And maybe Michael Vick, which all of those people, all the people that I just named, never fully fulfilled their contract. And I think at some point he's going to have to restructure it. The cool thing about this contract, though, I will say, is it goes up in continuation with the cap. So it's not like the team is going to be screwed by him. Aaron Rodgers, the amount of money he was paid has really hindered. And I just saw your tweet. Aaron Rodgers has really taken stuff away from the Packers. Russell Wilson is really hopefully it doesn't take stuff away from the Chiefs, and maybe they will compete. But man, as a Patriots fan, that scares the bejeebus out of me. That he's locked up for life.
I think anybody that's playing in the AFC is sweating a little bit right now. That's to know that kid is going to be here, and he's going to be here for a while in that capacity, especially if he manages to stay healthy. That's terrifying. But it also raises the bar, and I think as a whole, it's going to make the league just that much more entertaining, because it's going to force, kind of similar to what we were talking about last week with the Cam thing, right? The league is changing. It's a quarterback-friendly league. It has been for a while, but now those quarterbacks are more and more mobile and making their own kind of plays, right?
Right.
So in a way, it forces everybody to have to go out and find those multiple threat kind of players, which just means that it's going to continue to get more and more entertaining. And that's why the NFL is the NFL, and we're still talking about these teams and these players in the offseason.
One thought I had about Patrick Mahomes' deal was, and hear me out on this, everyone listening, if, for example, hypothetically, if Cam Newton was the starter, which there are more and more reports coming out that he is going to be the definitive starter in Patriots camp, and he goes off, has an MVP type season, he is the best player in the league, what would he demand for a new contract? Now, obviously, it wouldn't be Patrick Mahomes type of money, but could it be some sort of exorbitant contract?
I think that all just depends on. I think that depends on game days.
That totally does.
That's the key there. How is he? Everything is kind of up in the air. How is he playing? How is he reacting? Is he taking hits? Is he,
Is he going to be healthy?
Yeah. Not only is he going to be healthy in the short term, but is he going to be resilient? If the Patriots and Bill Belichick are seeing somebody who is getting back up when he gets knocked down, is fighting for his spot, is, elevating the team around him, then yeah, he can probably ask for a lot when those negotiations come around next year.
But I think, who knows? I could be talking out of my ass, but he could definitely demand quite a salary bump, especially since 1.5 million or whatever he got. That's peanuts.
That's nothing in this league.
That's nothing. He got signed to a veteran's minimum, and
it's true.
Well, and the Patriots will have the space next year. If they wanted to pay him, they could.
And speaking of space, they renegotiated, was it Rex Burkhead today?
Yeah, they did. They just did that. That's good. I mean, I like him. I like he's kind of like the third option behind Sony and James White.
Yeah.
Different change of pace.
And it's a team-friendly deal, which seems to be the norm when it comes to the Patriots. It's awesome.
I mean, we got to cut more salary. We still have not a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, we got to figure that out before a season starts, if a season starts, because there's nothing we love more than mid-season turnarounds that kind of elevate the team. So we got to find some wiggle room.
That is true.
So yeah, Patrick Mahomes, keep getting them checks. Go ahead. I like to see him compete, even though I hate him and the Chiefs.
I mean, he is. I hate that he's not on our team, but he is so much fun to watch.
He is an insane athlete. Yes, he's very entertaining to watch. But it's watching Patrick Mahomes is like any time that I've ever been forced to watch The Bachelor.
Oh.
Like, yes, I understand the entertainment value. Yes, I am entertained by the just batshit insanity that I am witnessing. But I walk away from it every time just being like, I'm glad that this isn't part of my everyday life.
I was like reading one article, and apparently in Patrick Mahomes' contract, it has a lot of things that he can't do. So he can't do anything physical besides football.
That makes sense.
Like he can't play baseball, can't play basketball, can't like go on like a jet ski or like anything. He pretty much like he said like someone like interviewed him and someone like asked him and he's like, yeah, for now I'm just gonna play football and like play video games.
He's younger than us, so like yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna
he's
get
just
paid
gonna
millions upon millions of dollars, and when I'm not working out, practicing, or playing on game day, I'm gonna hang out with my girlfriend and play video games. Like, yep,
Yeah.
that sounds like a 22, 23-year-old. Perfect.
I mean, why risk it?
Absolutely insane. But good luck to him and the Chiefs, I guess.
Yeah, but
Even though the Chiefs are probably next on having to figure out a name.
and continuing with the NFL, Redskins, I guess like they're considering changing their name now that like sponsors are now pulling out.
It makes perfect sense. That's literally like,
I mean, they should have done it a while ago, but they're only doing it now because money talks.
exactly. And it's, everything that happens, every person in this world is a product of their time, and we're in a time where those kind of things are kind of having a reckoning. So it makes sense that like now of all times would be when people would be calling out Washington and telling them that they have to change that name. So it absolutely makes sense. But
if only my hometown would change its name of its sports teams.
Really?
I think it's even worse than the Redskins.
Tewksbury?
Redmond.
Oh, no.
And you know what's messed up about it? Like, Massachusetts has a thing in place, like a program in place that if you have a mascot of like a Native American or like that kind of thing, like Indians or like something like that, they're like, oh, we'll pay you for the new branding to come up with a new mascot and everything like that. They'll pay for like all the new T-shirts, all the new uniforms. Like the state will take care of it on the taxpayer's dime.
I'm okay with my taxpayer dollars going towards something like that.
I'm okay with it too. And Tewksbury, for whatever reason, has such a big issue. It's been brought up countless times before.
It's
like,
tradition.
Hey, you should change your name. And they're like, no.
It's always been this way, so it should always be this way.
There's nothing worse than, like, old white townies. But anyways, now, something we thought would be fun, and you can also play along at home. We're gonna joke on on the Redskins and come up with some names for potential Washington Redskins replacements.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Would you like to go first?
You look eager to go.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, go.
The Washington White Boys.
The White Boys.
The Washington White Boys.
Okay.
I feel like that's just I feel like that's equal. However long Washington has been the Redskins is how long they should be the White Boys, and then they can find a more serious name.
You know what? The first one that came to mind is like the Washington Overspenders. just overspending and over budgeting everything. Like, I think that's a good one.
The Washington Flops.
Now, why flops?
Because when was the last time that anybody talked about the Washington Redskins besides the fact that their name needs to change?
That's fair. I think the last time they did anything was like 5 years ago. They're kind of like an irrelevant franchise, which is kind of sad because at one point they were one of the better like football teams in the league.
That's how the cookie crumbles.
Well, then they get bad ownership, you know.
You could call them the Washington Hamburgers because their colors are red and yellow, and they kind of... was it the Color Rush jerseys that just made them look like McDonald's workers?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I mean, Kansas City has that same issue sometimes. There's a couple of them where if they're not wearing the right shoes, or if they're wearing one of those weird, like one of their other one of the alternate uniforms, oh man,
rock and roll McDonald.
Yeah, there's when I've had to watch those teams every once in a while, you're sitting back and you're like, man, I want a hamburger, and I don't know why.
Let me see. The Washington
Rainmen.
Washington tax collectors.
The Washington tax collectors.
Or what about... And you can also tweet at us and let us know what is your favorite that we have said so far.
At Packy Run Pod.
At Packy Run Pod. Washington impeachments. I feel like something like political. I could go on and on with that, but...
They could go with something that's almost equally as offensive as what they already are. They could just be the Washington Trumps.
Oh, that would be bad.
Maybe that would be a good way to convince. Donald to not even consider a second term. Let's finally give him an NFL franchise that he can screw up. But he can put his name on it. He can be their mascot. It will look terrible. They'll continue to be terrible. This seems perfect.
Well, he did own a football team at one point. It was the USFL back in the 80s.
He always wanted an NFL team. It's all about the image with that guy.
I mean, yeah.
The image and the branding. Give him an NFL team. Get him out from where he doesn't belong. Let him go sit over in his corner and let his team fail. Everything's a joke.
Yeah, everything is a meme.
Everything is a meme.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, life is just one big meme, guys.
Episode title. Life is one big meme.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, tweet at us, engage with us, give us notifications because that hits your dopamine receptors and everybody likes it. So let's have a conversation on Twitter or on Instagram at Packy Run Pod.
Yes.
So I think that's all the NFL news that we wanted to cover. It's been an eventful week considering the fact that nothing's actually happened.
I mean, yeah. So a few weeks ago, we did our cringiest music trends. So we did a Mount Rushmore of that. We're not going to continue with that. We might do that again later on when we are bored or something. But we're going to do the opposite of that and trends we are happy we were into or bands that we were happy to get into or something like that. That led us into other bands and other genres. Precisely. So I think that's a good enough description. Would you like to start off or do you want me to?
I'll give you the go ahead. It was your idea for a topic.
Okay.
Mr. Idea Guy.
Mr. Idea Guy, that is me.
I'm gonna get you a t-shirt that says that.
I would say the first first one that comes to my head would have to be the Wonder Years. Currently not my favorite band. I mean, I still like them. I still rock with them. They're still one of the better bands in alternative music and pop punk. But they kind of sparked my interest and kind of were the gateway into everything else that I have been listening to and kind of got into throughout the years. So that is my number one.
True. I think the Wonder Years is a really good, like, if that's your jumping off point, you're set up for success, you know? I'll be honest, I'm not really that big of a Wonder Years fan, but I have a lot of respect for that band. Dan Campbell, or Soupy, as many of you will know him.
Yeah.
Just seems like a genuinely good dude, and, you know, everybody that's ever met him seems to have a story about him, to a point where it's actually kind of nauseating sometimes listening to people talk about him.
I love the Wonder Years, but sometimes I think their fans are insufferable.
Yeah, that reminds me a lot of when I was like a huge brand new fan. Like, I loved that band, but being around other fans of that band a lot of the times was just like, this is too much.
Yeah.
This isn't a cult, dude. Like, this is your favorite band, and if it's your favorite band, I respect that. But like, anybody within the sound of my voice who says something along the lines of "this band is my life," get a new life.
That's probably true, but no, I got into the Wonder Years. Like, it's weird. I remember finding them on MySpace. I think it was December of 2009. What?
You found them on MySpace?
Yeah, that's how old it was. Like,
I love that.
That is how old, like, this fandom goes. And I remember, like, I listened to a few songs by them and kind of like, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, and kind of forgot about it.
It's all over now, baby blue.
Yeah, that was on there. And, like, old MySpace, like, you know, music and that kind of thing.
Genuinely good song, by the way.
Yes, for sure. And I kind of forgot about it. And then, like, a month later, that was right when the Upsides came out. And they did their release show in Boston. Like, they did, like, a release tour of, like, different shows and everything. And I really wanted to go to it, but I had no way of getting it because, you know, 15-year-old kid.
We've all been there.
True. So, and then ever since then, like, that album, like, hit me, like, it really made a
ton of bricks.
It made a good dent on me. Was my favorite album for quite a while. I'd say it's still up there, but probably not for, like, it's probably just for, like, nostalgia at this point.
True.
That is one album I wish there was a 10-year reunion tour for. If there was a tour for that album, like a 10-year album tour,
you'd be crowd surfing.
Well, that's not the only thing. That is probably the only concert I would buy multiple dates for and follow for, like, a little bit if I could.
I could see you doing that.
That's probably the only time I would ever do that. And I've met people that have done that for even stupider bands.
True.
All right.
Well, I would say that kind of similar to you, in terms of, like, gateways. I'm not sure if any of our listeners have heard of this band. Paramore.
Dude, you're so edgy, and you're so, wow, dude, so underground.
Dude, that band slaps. I don't care what anybody says. Like, front to back, that catalog that's about as close to a flawless catalog as you can get. Like, every band, like, every album, it's not that every album is, like, great, but they have, as far as alternative and guitar based music goes, you're gonna struggle to find a band with a better discography. Like, that was growing up. I remember, so in my parents' house, at some point I got, like, a stereo system with unreasonably large speakers and, like, a 6 CD changer and the whole thing. And I had some CDs, but I didn't have, like, a big collection or anything. This is like elementary school, like 5th, 6th, 7th grade when I was really starting to discover like music as a whole. I got my first guitar around this time and everything else. So we're talking like 2006, 2007. And when Misery Business was on the radio, like something about that song, it was so like it was pop music. It was still pop music like I had been listening to since like I had first discovered that like, hey, music is a thing and I like melodies and stuff. And it still had that. It still had that like it had that sugary sweet hook, and it had guitars in the way that I kind of knew guitars because I was starting to discover like classic rock and I wanted to play guitar and things like that. But it was so punchy and it was still like aggressive, and it was not like anything else that you were hearing on the radio at that time.
True.
And to have a song like that as kind of like your entry point into everything else. And it wasn't even really my entry point. Like I had already been hearing Green Day and stuff. Like American Idiot was already like very much in my consciousness.
I feel like American Idiot is probably the first like edgy. I don't want to. It's not edgy, but like I would say like it's different. Well, it's different than what your dad listened to.
Yeah, it's edgy, but it's not edgy in like 2019 terms, right?
Oh,
it's not edgy in like in an ironic like, oh, you're so edgy way. It was like, especially at that time, it was edgy in that way that it's just like, you know, you're listening to the uncensored versions of American Idiot and Holiday and like so many tracks off that album where you're just like, oh, like there's like a whole other part of this music thing that I am not aware of yet.
Yeah.
So like that, like I had already kind of had my gateway with that, and like that was still when I was like, there was still the last vestiges of like Linkin Park on the radio and stuff like that. So I was really kind of into like the metal side of things up until that point. And because of metal, I was starting to get into classic rock, and then I got my first guitar. So I was really kind of heading that direction. And then it was really Misery Business being on the radio, and then me discovering like the rest of Paramore's catalog in addition to like stuff by Fall Out Boy that was on the radio and stuff like that, where it was just like, oh, there's this whole other thing over here where it's basically just like kids playing power chords and, you know, all of this other kind of thing that like that was the gateway. That was the thing that got me into it and led me to for a time bands like Brand New, bands like Taking Back Sunday, Manchester Orchestra. Like you get to all that is like those are huge bands, but they are not they're huge bands but like in their own circles. They're not broadly known. It's cult followings.
Right. Like one of the things I appreciate about I almost said Fall Out Boy, but I said it anyways. I would say Paramore, they have such mass appeal to like everyone. Like they reach every single person. Like even like
and part of that reason is because like it's not mass appeal in the way that like radio pop music is mass appeal. Where it's just like we're gonna appeal to the lowest common denominator, and because of that, millions upon millions of people are going to want to listen to me. It's mass appeal because every time they go in like a slightly different direction, it's always guitar based. It's like they are a rock band.
Yeah.
But they will play funk songs. They will go the fully pop direction. They'll pull it back and do more like folk things. They'll do big like aggressive-ish punk songs. And they do all of those things well.
Right. They do. Like I remember, like I was like driving somewhere once, and my girlfriend put on like a Paramore song, and like I was enjoying it, and I was like, oh, who is this? And she was like, oh, Paramore. I'm like, wait, what? Like Paramore?
Really?
Because I mean, I'll be honest with you. I stopped caring about Paramore after like Misery Business and like Riot. Not because like I was like, oh, this is bad. I was just like, I was busy listening to other things.
Yeah.
That tends to happen. Like you're just like, oh shit, like this is really good.
Well, Paramore for me has become like the Avengers of music. So like if you think in terms of Marvel movies, right? There's so many different movies and they're all like different genres of movie and they all have their little kind of like different pieces, and that's like every other band.
Yeah.
Every other band is all the like individual like one-off movies, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, everything else. Paramore is the Avengers of music for me. Like that is the tentpole release. Like every few years you get the Paramore album and it's just like everything else stops. That's the only thing that I'm going to listen to for 6 months. It's like they do what they do so well.
Now, what do you think of the new Hayley Williams album?
The new Hayley Williams album is an interesting thing. I've been talking to a lot of people about it, and my thing with that is that the Hayley Williams album for me is like going to see. I got the opportunity to go to France when I was a senior in high school, right?
Okay.
And I went to the Louvre. I went to go see the Mona Lisa. And you go and you see the Mona Lisa and you see the real thing behind all the glass and the security and everything else. But you get to like see this painting that has been in your consciousness since you were in elementary school, right?
Right.
It's like it is cool and it is like an experience to go and see that and see everything else in that museum. But after you've done it once, it's just kind of like, all right, I saw it. That was very cool. That was a great experience. I'm glad that I did it, but like not, you know, I'm not booking another trip to Paris to go see the Mona Lisa.
Okay.
That's kind of how I feel about the Hayley Williams thing, where it's like, I really appreciate this. I get what she's going for. I love a lot of what's going on there. And even some of the individual songs, like I do kind of hum along to every once in a while or whatever. But for the most part, the album as a whole is just kind of like, really glad she went solo for an album.
Right.
Really glad I got to see that. And a lot of the visuals that went along with it, the music videos and stuff like that are awesome. But can I get some more Paramore?
I think that's fair. I mean, like, for a while, myself included, but I think a lot of people thought that, like, of Paramore as her band. I mean, it is, like, and I mean, like, it was kind of like it's kind of in the way of Brandon Urie of Panic at the Disco. Like, everyone from Panic kind of quit, and now it's just Brandon Urie.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how Paramore is, except it's not now.
So Paramore, especially if you've been paying attention, they've never been that. They've always gotten tagged with that, but they've never actually. I thought that was
because they've always had like a rotating cast of different people. I know that some people have come back, like you've told me about, but like.
Yeah, and it's hard not to think of them in that fashion. And that's part of the reason why we never got like a Hayley Williams solo album until just now.
Right.
But
that makes more sense now.
Yeah, and like it's a good album. Like I enjoyed the whole rollout, the way she like spaced it out and everything else, and the album as a whole is great. It's fine. But yeah, I would have, in my heart of hearts, would have rather had just another Paramore album. But she went off and did exactly what she wanted to do, and I think Hayley Williams of all people in like alternative music has earned that right.
Yeah, she has, and she's talented enough.
Absolutely.
Like Pete Wentz could never do that. He's not talented.
He tried when Fall Out Boy was on hiatus.
He's not talented enough.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
He needs Patrick Stump.
Yeah.
So that's my number one.
Cool. I think, and I mean, I don't know what another one for you is, but I'm going to put this one, and you're welcome to pick this one as well. But my second one is Basement.
Basement will be up there. I don't think it's one of the ones that I would put on my list, but yeah, Basement's up there.
For me, Basement, first off, great albums. I remember one of my friends, he was trying to talk me into seeing their last show, like US show in like Pennsylvania. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really know this band that well. Like, I don't know if I want to go to Pennsylvania for it. And like, then like a year went by, got really into them, and I was like, fuck, really did.
Should have gone.
Should have done that. And it's not just that they. I mean, like, I really like their music. They were like a good jumping off point for a lot of music in that sort of like grungy 90s alternative sound. But also they kind of turned me on to Run for Cover as a whole. That was kind of that's why I'm putting them up as far as this, as high as this. Now, for those who don't know at home, Run for Cover is pretty well-known indie label, record label. They have great bands such as, they've put out Title Fight, they've put out Title Fight, they've put out
Super Heaven,
Young Gov, yeah, that's a recent one. Field Medic, they've put out Elvis Presley, they put out the early Pine Grove records, Citizen, who else? Turnover, just Pity Sex.
So many.
Too many bands to list and to name, and they were kind of my jumping off point into getting from that. Getting into that band got me into several other bands, which I can appreciate. And every chance I get to see Basement, I always take that opportunity. I remember I saw them at Madison Square Garden opening for Weezer, which that was sick, awesome. But they only played 4 songs.
Welcome to arena shows.
Yeah, that was a bummer, but Weezer put on a good show.
Basement and Title Fight in particular, especially like going into college and everything else, like those 2 bands were kind of the like impetus for making a lot of friends. Like you and I, the first show that we ever went to together, like right after we decided that we were going to be roommates our freshman year, was to go see A Loss for Words play like a benefit show at a Knights of Columbus Hall. But a few months later, we went to go see one of Basement's reunion shows at the Sinclair in Boston. So like, yeah, very important band.
Yeah, especially in our friendship. That's such a crazy A Loss for Words show that we went to.
That was insane.
Were you?
That I didn't even get to see A Loss for Words.
Did you catch Paris at least?
I saw part of Paris, and then I had to take off.
That band.
Because my grandfather had a heart attack, so I went to meet a bunch of my family up in Boston that night. But yeah, that was like, even just that made that one of those nights that I'll never remember, where it was like, all right, I'm gonna go hang out and like spend some time with this kid who's gonna be my roommate now.
Yeah.
And then I like looked down at my phone. I think it was like 2 or 3 songs into Paris's set where I like looked down at my phone and I was like, I have 14 missed calls from like my mom and one of my aunts and my dad. Like, I'm gonna step outside and see what's up.
Yeah.
And then we actually got to hang out a little bit at that Basement show.
True.
Which we've talked about before. So yeah, that's a good number 2. That's a good one.
You're welcome to steal it.
Man, I think my number 2, Paramore's definitely number 1. I think number 2 is going to tie into my recommendation from last week. I think number 2 is the Menzingers. I didn't really discover them until late in college. I had always kind of written them off.
Really?
You heard a lot about them. They're road dogs and stuff, but I had never bothered to listen to them because a lot of the people that I had met that were Menzingers fans were just kind of like what we were talking about with the Wonder Years fans, where it was always kind of like, people that like this band don't seem to be people that I get along with very well.
That's fair. I mean,
it was kind of like, I'm better off. I've got other things to listen to. But once I discovered them, just that working man songwriting kind of deal. They're really good at storytelling, but while they're still maintaining that like punk rock kind of loud guitars, bombastic drums kind of deal. That band, like I said during my recommendation last week, I don't think they have a bad album. There's not many songs in their catalog that I ever want to skip. Like they've nailed that Americana storytelling thing while also being undeniably a punk rock band, which is just so sick.
That's so true.
They've just, the On the Impossible Past is a perfect album. The past 2 albums that they've put out, Hello Exile and the other one's
After
name
Party?
is escaping me. After the Party, yes. Those are like, those 3 albums are some of my favorite albums of all time. There's no skips. There's no anything. They've just got such a great catalog of songs. That's all I can say. I can't even wax poetic about it because I love it too much.
They do. I mean, I remember that is like one band I have yet to see, and I've been meaning to like see them live. I got into them like right when Rented World came out. That's a great record. I remember being hooked with like I Don't Want to Be an Asshole Anymore.
I Don't Want to Be an Asshole Anymore. Incredible album opener.
That is such a good one. And
In Remission, just the way that song starts lyrically is just, I dare any other band to ever write something
that is
like that good.
That just reminds me of every night I've ever had at like the Galaxy or like any like basement show.
Yeah, they do such a good job. They're like a fairly big band, but they do such a good job of just conjuring those images of just like I'm hanging out in the basement with my friends watching some crappy band play and like
drinking a 40 and like
yeah, just hanging out.
Yeah. Like, and On the Impossible Pass, that's one of the best records of like that's one of the best modern punk records of all time. And
Casey by the Menzingers is arguably one of the most beautiful songs of all time. And if you don't know that or don't understand that, shame on you. It's perfect.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That is, it's definitely up there.
So that's my number 2.
For number 3, that's tough. That is tough. I mean, I would say, as far as hardcore goes, because I was pretty into hardcore back in my youth, still am. There are still a bunch of bands that I still mess with, I still listen to, I still love. Now it's few and far between at this point because a lot of it just doesn't sound that good to me. But I would say one that really made a difference to me was Have Heart.
That's a good one.
And that is a band it's another one of those bands I wish I got into sooner, but I didn't. I remember I got into them like just the next year when they had already broken up. It's actually funny. One of my friends went to the last show, not the reunion, but the last show back in 2009. And you could see him on the DVD and everything. Like I watched the DVD probably once a year or so because I just think it's so good to watch. I think there's some good, the energy in that room. I just have never seen that before ever. Have Heart was a great band. I would say one of the more influential bands in hardcore. I would definitely look them up if you are not into, if you have never heard of them, which I don't know.
Just an all-around good band, especially if you're into hardcore. Just
good band. They have solid lyrics about real life. It's not, I mean, like the thing I hate about most hardcore, especially back then, like 2000s hardcore, a lot of it is like that, oh, I love my crew, I love my friends, like all these girls hate me, blah, 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 like that kind of thing. They don't talk about that. They talk about real life stuff. It's all positive. It's very positive thinking in a very aggressive manner.
I love it.
The Machinist, that song still gives me chills. It's at the part where it's like the voice where like there's a big pause in it, and like with the bass, I think that is like that still gives me chills to this day for whatever reason. Can't explain it. Just it's from The Things That We Carry. I think it's the best album that they've ever written. And then also Songs to Scream, At the Sun. Come on. The Same Sun, that is like one of the best and most beautiful songs and positive thinking songs to ever listen to. If you want to get,
they're undeniably one of the best bands in hardcore
to
ever do it.
If you want to get your foot in the door with hardcore and you're considering it, I would start off with Have Heart and then move your way around to Suggested. But that is one you have to get into.
True. All right. And I think we'll finish it out with my number 3. I'm going to go ahead and say my number 3 is probably the band Manchester Orchestra. They, again, another band with a solid catalog. They've got great songs. Their earlier albums are not as good as some of the stuff that they put out over the course of the past probably 5 to 10 years. But they do such a good job of doing like that, like post-rock cinematic kind of deal. They're very dynamic. They've got like great control live and in the studio over their sound and their volume and everything else. Like they do a really good job of like emotionally conveying things. Andy Hull, one of my favorite vocalists of all time, he just has this, his voice sounds like a bell. It's just clear and it rings out, and it's so pleasing to listen to, whether it's just him with an acoustic guitar or like his voice breaking over the sound of like huge walls of sound. Like that dude he's just a fantastic songwriter, and he's got that kind of like everyman thing. There's a lot of religious imagery and everything else, but he still manages to do those kind of songs in a way that just sounds like he's just a dude, which is just so pleasing every time that I get onto like a Manchester Orchestra kick. They do that sound better than probably anybody that I can think of.
Oh yeah.
And you and I have seen them live before.
They put on a
Terminal
good show.
5.
I mean, like, he's not my thing, but there's something to appreciate about him and his live show.
Yeah, I've seen them twice live, and I've seen Andy solo once, and it's just like I think the thing that gets me is that it's just mesmerizing. That's the thing about the live show, is that you're watching this band that is just like they are in control the entire time. Or even if it's just him with an acoustic guitar, which I got to see in Cambridge years ago.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's mesmerizing. You're watching it and you can't look away from the stage, because like you're just watching somebody do what they do on a level that not many other people ever get to reach. And the Manchester Orchestra, awesome band.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it. And we've basically, I'm going to say this, we've each given kind of 3 bands to recommend and go check out. I think this week we might forego recommendations. Dan will give 2 to make up for my lack of one.
All right.
My recommendation is to keep listening to the Packy Run, because I spend a lot of time editing these things and putting them out. So
true. So my recommendation is the band Nudie Mag. They just put out a new record called Our Milk. It's kind of that fun, kind of like power pop, like Weezer type of sound. Very fun record to listen to. I would highly recommend that record.
Confirmed good band. I saw you post about them on Instagram and listened to them on my ride home today.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, I've been on like a kick with them lately.
Good band.
Yeah. And my second recommendation is for all people to consider, and it is start a skincare routine.
Tight.
I just started a skincare routine, and let me tell you, it makes a world of a difference. You gotta wash it, you gotta moisturize, and you got to exfoliate. You got to moisturize twice a day, so in the morning and at night, and wash, and you got to exfoliate twice a week. Those are my recommendations. I can't give you brands, but that's what you got to do. Go to the drugstore, pick up some stuff. Also, pick up a face lotion. You need to put on some face lotion, some sunscreen for your face, just so you don't get sunburn and so you don't look like, you get rid of those aging circles.
Fantastic ideas.
And if you have a beard, I suggest getting some beard wash and some beard oil.
Keep that thing looking nice.
Keep that thing looking nice.
I back that recommendation.
Get like a comb. Come on. Just because you're not seeing anything and seeing anyone in quarantine doesn't mean you gotta look like a complete fucking slob.
Agreed.
So keep up the face wash. Start that skincare routine. Clean that beard if you have one.
I love it.
All right. And I guess we will sign off with that.
Perfect. We'll catch you guys next week with, well, let's just say that there might be something a little bit special.
He means a live episode where we're both in the same room and not over FaceTime.
It's a reunion episode.
Yes, a reunion episode. So, we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.